Hey internet, just wanted to say this video is probably a day late, although most of you will watch this later anyway, so it won't really matter. But for those of you who watch every day, I apologize. I got swept up in the interview the same day that I needed to edit this. I put it off for way too long. That interview I talked about in a previous episode, so I did that today and then had some family stuff come up. So just a day late, sorry about that, and yeah, try not to let that happen in the future, I guess, but I still love you. So here's the episode. Hello internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series of the golf scenario playthrough. In the last episode, we invested a lot of time getting our vehicle into a workable condition. Mostly this means we added stow boards to the side of the vehicle and we got it fully enclosed, which is really important. We put curtains on the windshield and now everything inside of our vehicle is isolated from the light. This will help us sleep in the car when we get to that point, and we also added a bed to the back of the vehicle for that reason. And then finally, we have never really seen any cargo spaces, so we went out to harvest some ropes from local vehicles in order to make our own. And that's where we'll jump back into the episode. We are tired, we're going to sleep, so let's do that immediately. So yeah, making cargo spaces I think is not really a valuable use of our time. It takes a long time to do that, to gather all the materials. Now I do think when we go out in town we will continue to harvest seat belts, which should let us be able to make cargo spaces, but I don't ultimately think that it's worth all that time investment. I think it's better for us to... I mean, normally I find a vehicle with cargo spaces by now. Usually it's pretty easy. They're not super common. They're not the most common thing in the world, but there are plenty of vehicles that have them, and we just haven't come across any. Or if we did, we didn't make note of where they are. So I don't know how to rectify that when, you know, looking around is such a random thing to do, when, you know, you can't really target finding a specific vehicle. I suppose we could venture out into town again and just look around to see if we can find any vehicles that have cargo spaces. Maybe we have been in an area where there are some and we just haven't spotted them. I mean, what else are we gonna do, right? We could go out and loot. We did vehicle work in the last episode, shake things up. It's really nice to have this fully enclosed vehicle. There's still a lot of work to do on the interior, but, you know, slow progress, right? Baby steps, all that jazz. Yeah, I can't think of anything I want to put in right this second. We need a lot of cargo spaces. Plus it's dark. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's dark. Yeah, you can't craft or do vehicle work in the dark. So why don't we eat something, drink something, and we'll head out onto the town. What do we want to eat here? We still are not able to make a freezer, so I'm a little hesitant to open up some of these jars. Why don't we have another MRE? We are still getting calorie dense messages, which is just super frustrating, because we've been eating a lot and we're not really making it. Mexican chicken stew, that sounds pretty good, so we'll have one of those. I wish we didn't have to drop our spear whenever we butchered an MRE, but what are you gonna do? Failed to recover. Oh, it was damaged. I didn't even look at that. So we just got nothing. No, we got the entree. That's the main calorie thing. So go ahead and cut this up, and then not a lot of calories. We did lose some materials, but it's something. You know, nice, easy, compact set of calories. And then we'll just eat some stuff from our food pile. Preferably stuff with a positive health impact. I'm a little nervous with the cracklins. Let's eat a couple cracklins to get some calories. I wish I knew exactly what their negative health benefit was, but or impact was, but it doesn't make sense that the player would know an exact number. So I mean, we already have numbers for this stuff that we wouldn't necessarily know, but you know. Oh, I clicked something and ate it by accident. Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. And then we'll drink some pine needle tea again to just try and cancel out some of that negative health stuff. So let's get our spear back. Do we still have our M4? We do. It needs to be reloaded. Let's do that. Reload. And then we can reload the magazine as well. So we have a nice filled magazine. How many do we have? 3 in our inventory. I mean, we're never really going to need 3 clips, 3 magazines in our inventory. It would be something where that would be like an emergency situation where we would really need that much ammunition. That's like if we come around a corner and we didn't know a park was there and then we ran into a park. Also, let's pick up these binoculars that we picked up in a previous episode. And we'll keep those in our inventory as well. I would wear them, but they're torso encumbrance, if I recall correctly. What is your encumbrance? 2 strapped on the torso. So it would be 4 encumbrance total, because they're 2 encumbrance plus 2 more for us already having a strapped item on our torso, which would be our backpack. How's our torso encumbrance looking? 22 is not terrible. Oh no, it would be a much higher penalty because we also have the rifle strapped to our torso. Yeah, I don't think we can afford that, so we'll just hang that, keep those in our inventory for now, and we can drop that PBA mask as well. If we're going to go out, we might as well come back with loot, so drop this stuff for now. Alright, let's get a question nice and early so we have something to talk about. Click, scroll, click. How many siblings do you have? Oh, it's like a whole list of personal questions. Maybe we'll answer a bunch. I don't think, talking about siblings is gonna, take up a lot of time. So we'll just do a little mini AMA, I guess. So I have 6 siblings. They're all half siblings. So my mother and father, I'm their only child together, which is makes sense. My mom was 15 and my dad was 17 when I was born. Well, I'm sorry, when they got pregnant. My mom was 16 when I was born. But yeah, teenagers, what are you gonna do? I think technically, legally these days, that's a crime. But I don't know. It was a long time ago. It was the 80s. No one thought about those things. Actually, it was I guess it was the late 80s. So that's whatever. Take that as you will. So this area should be mostly clear. So we're just gonna kind of walk down the middle of the road in hopes of finding a vehicle that has something of value. I actually don't think this is very productive in the nighttime. What time is it? It's 3 in the morning. Let's go back and read until daylight. It just will make this process so much easier. So head back to base here. So my mom and dad were very young when they had me, and they went their separate ways before I was even born. They had already split up. Oh, we're down to just splintered wood, huh? Okay, let's grab, should have a cudgel on this pile somewhere. We'll take that as a weapon for now, and we'll just head next door and gather some wood. Or across the street, maybe? Well, it's boarded up. Did we never go in this place? It's boarded up, we just never went inside? Well, there's a roof as well. What building? What is this? It's just a house. Abandoned storefront. So probably nothing in here. We might be able to get access from the roof. Struggle to keep your balance. I mean, what else is new? So what's interesting is there's no real roof access. It's just a ladder over there, but there's stuff on the roof. Is that a brazier? I mean, I would take that, but we're at the stage of the game where we don't really need it, and they're very easy to make anyway. So head next door and gather some wood. So they were very young. For a long time I thought I was like an accident, you hear teenagers, right, and you assume that it was just some teenagers not really thinking about consequences, but it turns out I was actually planned. They were in love, and we're gonna be together forever, so let's make a baby. And then of course they were separated before I was born. My mother went on to marry my stepfather, who we've talked about, who was a not good person, who was very abusive. And my father went on to marry a nice lady. This was, he got married, my mother got married shortly after my parents split, but my father, it was a long time before he ever remarried. And then my mother had my oldest brother, the one who lives with me. He has a different father from the rest of us, and he was born 2 years after me. Then my mom went on to have 3 children with my stepfather, and my father had 2 children with his wife, my stepmother. So I have 6 brothers and sisters, 4 from my mom, 2 from my dad. I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters. My dad has 2 sons. My mom has 2 and 2. Yeah, other than me, obviously. So yeah, big family. Grew up with my mom and her other kids. So those are the ones I'm closer to. So if you ever hear me talk about my siblings, it's usually my mom's kids. I'm estranged from both my mother and father. I don't really interact with either of them. I see my mother probably about once a year, twice a year. And then my father, I haven't seen him in probably, oh geez, what year is it? It's probably been 10 years since I've seen my father in any capacity, or My one brother, my dad's other son, worked up here, up the street at this convenience store, so I would see him sometimes, but I don't think he knew who I was. We are going to not craft, we're going to read. That's what I'm doing here. And I think we dropped that on the unsorted pile. We're looking for, what's the book called? Combustion. Really? Not on that pile, huh? Is it in my inventory still? Uh-oh. We're looking for internal combustion. Oh, I just sorted, so it would be put on this pile. There it is. And we're going to read that. Oh, we have Mechanics 5. That's what we need for the... It's 5 for the mini fridge, right? Mini freezer? Yes. This is fantastic. Okay, so we're going to need a drill, which I don't think we have, but we can make the hand drill. That is craftable. That has drillings of 1, so that should be good enough. We have a welder, of course. Most of those materials we can get by disassembling refrigerators. The tiny electric motor, I don't know if fridges give that. So we may need to take apart like a food processor or something that would have a small electric motor like that. A tiny one, I mean. Everything else should be able to get from a fridge pretty easily. And then I guess we could always head back to one of those grocery stores that was looted, because they have a lot of freezers and fridges in them. If we find that the kitchen fridges don't have something, we can head out there and get a lot of supplies. Super good to have a freezer. Sometimes I even like having 2 of them. You 100% don't need to. If you're watching this, you don't need to install 2 freezers. 1 freezer is enough to hold quite a lot of meat products and just thousands and thousands of calories. So yeah, definitely want to make that. Again, it's dark right now, so I don't think that we necessarily can do that right this second. And that changes our priorities for reading. I don't think we need to raise our mechanics any higher than that. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We need mechanics 6, I think, for the advanced solar panels. Yeah, so we do want to read mechanics. So we'll keep reading the mechanics book. It's boring. It's going to be a negative morale penalty, but what are you going to do? All right, now we can head out and do some looting and harvesting. What do I need to take apart a fridge? What do I have in my inventory? Maybe need a hammer. Probably not, though. Multi-tool will have what we need, and I don't really need a screwdriver or wrench when I have a multi-tool, right? Multi-tool does have bolt turning, but only 1, so we couldn't use it to like change a tire, obviously, but or not a tire, because that was changed to, I mean, we still couldn't use it for a tire, but that was changed to some other thing, tire fastening or something like that. So let's grab a hammer. I don't think I need a hammer, but it used to be you needed a hammer to disassemble furniture, so we'll take that just in case. Let's go out to harvest some fridges. I think we will just go to the supermarket nearby, because I think that'll be an easier place to get a lot of materials in case we fail once. I mean, I guess the fridges are everywhere, but whatever, we're gonna head down there, why not? So we can marvel at the destruction of this local supermarket. So yeah, I have a lot of siblings. My mom's kids are the ones I'm closest to. Dad's kids, I don't know the youngest kid. My youngest brother is one of my dad's sons. I don't think he would even recognize me or know who I was. He was very young. He has cochlear implants is really about the only thing I know about the kid, because that's where I learned what a cochlear implant was, because I was pretty, young and didn't know what that was. And then yeah, the older brother, I mean, they're good kids. My dad has money, is a solidly middle class guy. He's definitely kind of a hillbilly, but he's a nice dude. And then my mother is like, I don't know. I have so much baggage and stuff with my mom that it's hard to be a part of the family. When you struggle so much with like trauma and things, you hold things against them. Like, why didn't they protect you and whatever. So, but anyway, that's depressing. So yeah, I have six brothers and sisters. I am the oldest of all of them. Okay, we need a tiny electric motor. We need a refrigerating tank. We definitely don't have everything we need here. I need a compressor and a condenser. Okay, what was this? What is this furniture item I took apart here? It is a glass door fridge. You would expect that to have a condenser and everything that we need. Huh. Why didn't I get that? Did we screw it up? I wonder. Like, did we just fail to get those materials? Because every fridge will have a compressor and a condenser. Or not a compressor. What am I thinking of? It's a condenser and a evaporator. Is that what we need? I think. I'm trying to remember when I was learning a little bit about HVAC and how freezing things works. Yeah, why are you not giving me... Okay. But we'll take the stuff anyway. I don't know what all I need. And we don't have the recipe anymore because we're not at home, so I can't look at the freezer. Okay, let's... Also a glass door fridge. Are there any freezers? You would think there would be. Didn't there used to be? Okay, maybe this was not the right place to come. Let's head back to base and we'll take apart a regular fridge. Actually, you are a restaurant. What do you have in the back here? You have a bunch of fridges but no freezers. I think what we need is a place with a freezer, like a stand-in freezer. Where do I usually get these parts? It's usually grocery stores, I think. So maybe we just need to go to a different grocery store where they'll probably have freezers. Maybe it's just that layout. But let's try taking apart a standard fridge. Okay, we might need a thermostat. I don't remember. Here's an evaporator and condenser. Yes. And they are quite large. That's the big like the piping at the back of your fridge is the condenser, I believe, is the condenser coil, and the evaporator coil is like is at the bottom, right? I don't remember how things work. Don't judge me. So we don't. This is very heavy. It can't fit. Okay. Let's just use the haul command and haul this back to base. I think would be the easiest way to do this. Because it's mostly clear here. We don't have to worry about zombies and stuff. Anyway, let's get a different question, shall we? So that's my family stuff. I've talked about this often enough in our conversations that you probably already knew this. So let's get a different question. What do you do for a living? Yeah, also something I talk about all the time. I make deliveries. I drive for a living, mostly to grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations, convenience stores. I currently only have one supermarket, and I used to have a pharmacy that I would deliver to overnight, but they don't get anything anymore. They never really sold anything, and the pharmacy obviously is closed, when I would show up, and it was just a hassle to get in there. So, I mean, I have no say in it. They're going to just tell me where to go, but I don't have the pharmacy anymore. Mini freezer, we have everything, we just need to drill. Okay, so do we have a cordless drill? Maybe it just doesn't have power in it at the moment. Doesn't look like it. Is it called handheld maybe? Handheld, no. Yeah, we don't have a drill. Okay, so we'll make a hand drill really quickly. Drill. Makeshift hand drill. This is a great addition to the game. Literally right before I started recording, there was someone on Discord saying, "Oh, I can't make a drill, this is terrible." And I said, "Oh, you must be unstable, because on experimental we now have the ability to craft this drill. Previously you had no drilling, you had to find a drill. There was no way for you to get real quality drilling from a hand tool that you could make yourself. Like, we've always had the hand drill, but I believe the hand drill used to not be craftable. Oh no, this is the forge one. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we're looking for a makeshift hand drill here. I believe it uses a screwdriver. Yeah. Oh, or we can just use a nail. We'll use a nail. It's much easier. Yeah, so I make deliveries. Not a big deal. Not really exciting. I get paid very little money, and it takes a ton of time from my life. It's a lot of driving every year. Did we talk about that when I did my taxes? I'm going to pull up my taxes really quick and let you know how many miles I drove last year. Okay, so in 2020, I drove 30,042 miles. Pretty freaking bonkers. Anyway, I talk about my job all the time. I'm really not happy there, but it is what it is. Oh, we need a welder. Where's my welder? Welder. freezer. I'm not sure why we're welding a freezer. I guess to attach the all the metal stuff. Makes sense, I guess. Requires a full battery charge. That's unfortunate. We don't have very many fully charged batteries. Let's unload the arc welder, and then we will use the reload command and pick up a full battery. Now we should be able to make the mini freezer, which is just fantastic. Great. And it doesn't matter which we use the tanks, it doesn't matter. It's gonna take a while, but freezer is so valuable. I'm so excited that we get a freezer installed in our vehicle, and we're gonna install that probably straight away. Now this does require us, we're getting calorie dense messages again. Oh, it never ends. Now this is an issue because we don't have renewable energy sources in our vehicle yet. Pick up the mini freezer. I know, but you gotta carry it. I know it's big, but we'll just drop that over yonder. Let's not drop it there. I've been using that as a clear space to haul things back into base. Drop the mini freezer and then get our spear back so we don't lose that. And the sheet metal stuff can come back outside here. In fact, let's haul. You stop hauling. Cannot haul inside vehicles. I'm not in a vehicle. What is this? Oh, it is a vehicle. Oh, it's my crane, of course. Okay, craney boy, why don't you just kind of go out in the street here? I do wish this had a tile because I'm going to forget that this is our crane. In fact, let's fold that up and we'll just put that. Okay, yes, you're huge, I get it. So we'll just dump all of our stuff in kind of one pile here so that I don't continually lose everything. Yeah, so that should do fine. That's our forge. We'll leave that alone. Yeah, so we don't have renewable energy sources for our vehicle. We should take a drive at some point to go pick up those solar panels that we've seen back towards the previous town. That's a long drive and kind of boring. I don't want to do that right now. We're going to go back out and look for some more cargo spaces. But first, we're going to eat. Man, I wish I could sort this menu by highest calories. Anything over 200. Okay, we got a couple 200s. 280, eat that. 200s, and if it has a positive health impact, that is acceptable as well. This is close enough and has a positive health impact. We eat one more thing, oyster crackers. We're very thirsty. Drink some pine needle tea to continue boosting our health, and we're still thirsty. Yeah, we ate a lot of crackers. We did the 6 saltine challenge or whatever that stupid thing was people used to do. So let's go look for cargo spaces. Oh yeah, so I talk about work all the time. I mean, it's not anything new to the people who watch me, so not very exciting. Let's get another question. Next on the list, do you have any pets? Yes, also something we talk about occasionally. I have a little wiener dog. I think he's a beagle, but he's definitely a wiener. So yeah, little wiener dog. And then we have a larger dog. She is a, I don't know, probably golden retriever / bear would be my guess at what her breed is. She's enormous. She's both just a very large creature and also very fat. My family, so I don't take care of the animals. That is, they're not mine, they're the family's animals, and my family overfeeds every pet that we've ever had, and it's always been really sad because then you get really fat animals that can't move very well and don't have a very good quality of life, and it makes me really sad. But I talk to them about it. I say, look, you gotta stop giving them treats. You gotta, if you want to give them a treat. I'm getting the horde music for the rats. Oh, they're all hostile. Oh, I didn't know that you were hostile. I thought you were just like random rats. Yeah, I tell them like, oh, you gotta stop giving them these treats that have so much in them. Just give them, like, honestly, cut up a cucumber and give them a cucumber or something. Like, you don't have to give them these treats that are full of, I mean, I guess they're full of calories. I don't know how, pet nutrition works, but like, you can't just give them, because they'll sit down there every night. My family, when they come home, my family member will sit downstairs. Oh, these are edible. Do we get a chunk out of each rat? Yes, stop, because I would rather full butcher anyway. And then we can ignore them. They seem to be pretty blind out here. Did we get a chunk? No, we got 2 little scraps. It's something. We'll take it. I don't really want to fight them because they're so hard to hit. It would just be an annoyance. My neighbor's kids are yelling. Super great. Yeah, and I'm kind of on a quest for vehicle stuff. Oh, this looks like a big truck. Oh, yes. Okay, so we got all this flatbed truck. Flatbeds are one of my favorite vehicles in the game. They're my favorite starter vehicle. And the reason for that is that they are already 3 wide on the interior, which is, you know, saves me. Like this time we started with a vehicle like this that was only 2 tiles. And you saw how long it took us just to put frames and roofs and quarter panels on it. So it already starts 3 tiles wide on the interior, which I love. It already starts with these quarter panels all the way back, which means we have enough sheet metal to transfer these into boards. And then finally it starts with a ton of cargo spaces, so I don't have to worry about putting in, you know, a dozen cargo spaces in the back of a vehicle. Plus also it's very long, so you don't have to extend it in that direction either. So this is fantastic. A fantastic find. Obviously much better than us going out and crafting all of these ourselves. It will save us so much time, but it may mean that these rats are consistently going to interrupt us. So why don't we kill, you know, and even if we kill them, we're gonna spend all day harvesting cargo spaces, so the meat we get is just gonna go bad. So I don't even think it's worth killing them. We'll just ignore them. Are you a zombie? Wow, God, that is a tiny sprite. So I love Altica. I think Altica is a really great tile set, and I think a lot of the stuff that they've made looks so fantastic. But I don't like the obsession they seem to have with really small sprites. All the child zombie sprites are so small that you can't really see them. And I think that this one, which appears to be, like, this is my normal zoom level, right? This is how zoomed we normally are. Number one, it's very gray. It blends in with the road, which is, you know, whatever. It's not always going to be on the road. That's not a big deal. But this is my normal zoom level. This is so tiny. I could easily see this being like a cat or a bunny or a bird or something. It's just so tiny. I can't make out any details. And then it just appears to be crouched as well. Like, look how small. At the maximum zoom, you still can barely tell what this is. So this is one of the hunter child zombies. That's why it's crouching. It has the leap ability. So we're gonna have to kill this thing because it's gonna make you know, trouble for us. But man, I really wish they made their sprites bigger. There are a lot of them like this. The Sproglodyte leaps. It's mostly the child zombies. I did see they sized up some of the child zombies. I complained about it in a video, and then I saw on Discord that they had talked about making them larger, and I thought that was so cool that, like, I don't know that they listened to me, but to me that seems like an obvious thing other people would complain about. So I love that they actually took the step of taking feedback and then fixing something that is a perceived issue. I always have a lot of respect when people actually take feedback, because it's really hard to do that. And I say that as someone who gets a lot of feedback and then ignores most people. We don't have a hacksaw. We're going to go back to base. If we're going to go back, we might as well kill the rat. That way we can go back and cook the meat while we're there and get a few extra calories. Just grab some meat. You know, it's not a lot of calories, but the reality is that the volume is so low that you can eat quite a lot of them. And all together they add up to be a fair number of calories. Howling Wave, I think I can ignore you. Yeah, I don't know where you are. We don't see it anymore. Okay. Grab this, grab some meat. So basically we have 4 scraps of meat. If we eat all of them, it's probably at most like, I don't know, 160 calories, which is really nothing. But the volume of the scraps of meat is so low that we can eat them and then still eat lots of other food on top of it without, you know, being filled up. So we'll do that. What were we talking about? Yeah, so we have fat animals, and I really hate that they're fat. You know, it leads to a lot of health issues, and it just makes me really sad. Like, the big dog currently has trouble standing up because she's so big, and she's older, you know, and she's huge. And then the wiener dog has had trouble where he would fall up the stairs. You know, we talked about that in a previous episode where I was like so worried for my animal because I was afraid he was going to fall down the stairs. And so now we block the stairs so he can never come up. But like, even just the other day, I let him in from outside, and we have one step that leads into the house, and he couldn't even make it up that one step. And I just, makes me so sad that, you know, because I love my animals and I worry about their health. And I try talking to family about it, and they have like they have no patience for that. They don't care, you know. And she'll just sit down there, and the dogs will bark, so she'll give them a treat, and then the dogs will lay there and keep barking, so she gives them another treat, and then they'll bark, because like they know every time they bark they get a treat. She just keeps giving them treats, and it's like you're killing the dogs, you know, like you're literally you're hurting them and making it worse because you can't deal with their barking. You just give them stuff, and then, you know, one day this is going to lead to them being really sick and having a low quality of life. Anyway, that's depressing. We also have a cat. I do love our cat now, which I never really liked cats for a long time. Our last cat was very obnoxious and unpleasant. This cat is fantastic. She's more like a dog than a cat, to be honest. And I love her, and she's fantastic. So my cat is currently probably like my favorite animal. They all respond really well, you know, like that's the thing with pets, right? You want them to be happy and affectionate, and all three of our pets are very affectionate. So they're validating me, you know, making me feel loved and all that stuff. Anyway, I think we'll call the episode. In the next episode, we definitely want those cargo spaces. But it's going to take time to go out and harvest them. I don't think we're going to do that right now. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you had a good time. I'll be back with more Cataclysm in the near future. See you in the next video.